we were pissing neon green every day.
The big ball of heat in the sky was too much.
I thought there was a
bear.
reality goes, yeah, fresco. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, everybody. What's up, everybody?
Welcome to
Story time.
Story time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Story Time with John and Max. I'm Max.
And I'm John.
We got a fantastic guest for you here today. He's from West Seneca. He's been in bands like Post Prom, Posture Promise, and Lacking in the Bulge. And you can also check out his podcast. Season 2 just started today. I am your friend, ladies and gentlemen, Aidan Licker.
Thank you. I wish there were people here to clap, you know?
You don't hear him?
The sound is...
Dude, they won't stop. Guys, stop.
The
Stop.
silence is deafening. Almost,
Stop.
Yeah.
It's we'll put a laugh track over it.
Oh, perfect.
Or
We do that in
applause
post.
track. Applause track.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thanks for showing up, guys.
How's everybody doing?
Oh man, you had a good day. Aidan? What'd you do today?
I worked. It's Monday, you know. And I'm, a little sleepy from the weekend. I went to Pride yesterday. Went to the Pride Parade.
Did you feel proud?
I wasn't proud of anything, because I
wasn't proud of progress.
Well, I'm proud of
No.
you
But,
showing
like-
your support.
Right. Yeah.
You were an
Everybody
ally.
else was proud for being non-hetero. I'm not that.
You're
I'm
a
straight. I'm
supporter.
a straight
You're a
guy.
supporter.
And I did. It was my first Pride Parade. I'd never
Really?
been to one before. And I felt weird about it because I'm like, this isn't for me. Am I even supposed to go to this? You know? But it turns out you are. You are
that-
supposed to go and
Yes.
show your support. And it was so fun. It's so great.
Is
Just
that imposter syndrome?
I don't know. That's a good thing. Of like, am I appropriating this culture? It's probably a good imposter syndrome to have.
I think like if you're supporting, it's cool.
Yeah.
But if you were like trying to get them to support you,
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But that's
you guys
you
know
had
me.
you
I
had
just,
to float in the parade, right? Say support Aidan, support.
yeah.
I'm your friend.
Listen to my podcast. I'm super straight. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they loved it. Just put a
Nice.
rainbow on it. Yeah.
Were there any notable floats that you saw? Anything like spectacular or terrible?
Dude, the Masuda Chow's float was
Yeah.
fire. They put the pink staircase on the float.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It was super cool.
I did see that they had the shirts made with the Mickey Mouse skull.
Yeah,
The
yep.
Pride ones.
That's pretty cool.
Those
Yeah,
look sick.
it was
I want
good.
one of those.
Trying to there was a bunch of good ones. I think it's funny how many like corporate floats there are.
Yeah.
But, I was shitting on M&T, but apparently M&T does put on the big event at Canalside, which is where they have a concert and
Right, yeah,
all
yeah.
the shits, and it's a big fundraiser. So I guess shout out M&T.
Shout out M&T.
Well,
Well, that's like I think
pretty
like Absolute Vodka always gets a bunch of smack for it, but like they're one of like the longest. We were gonna have to fact check
Supporters
this,
of it? Yeah.
but like they're like a super big supporter of the whole community.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, then they're a super bad supporter of the whole community.
You know what was cool too?
Just
There was a
little
bunch
contingency.
of churches, church floats.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
I love that.
That's really
it
cool.
was sick, dude. I was like, and I just kept yelling, "Yeah, gay church."
Gay church.
Yeah, it was sick. That's
It's,
what I did.
it's heartwarming when you see that stuff, especially as
Yeah.
someone who
Oh.
I grew up in the church. Like,
Right. So it is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any
it's
like?
definitely cool to see that stuff.
Did you
It's so bonkers to me that religious people don't like gay people. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense, It's like against your whole thing of like, isn't like God loving?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this is a storytelling podcast.
I know.
So,
It's just
Were there any-
But
were
it
there
was cool to see
any-
the churches.
were there any like ones that like they could have spent a little bit more time on? You don't have to name names, but Did you
There were some that was just like an SUV drove by
Yeah.
without any decorations.
I was
or anything.
saying,
I was
'cause,
like,
like,
did
on-
this guy just get into the wrong traffic line?
he's like,
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
lost.
He was like, uh-oh,
Well,
shit.
that's like I'm
We're
like on
riding the brake
Instagram
for 3 miles. you know?
Right, like on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. I just saw it was like a pickup truck and someone was in the back with a flag, and I was like, all right, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Do more.
do a little bit more.
Yeah.
No, man. That honestly, I don't think it matters to be honest, because they're showing the support. That's all. that
Right.
matters,
Dude, there
really.
was
No,
a crazy
sure.
line of Jeeps that were like they were all like different like colors of the rainbow.
That's
Just
cool. Each of them
Jeep
was a color?
Wranglers.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And they were decked out and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
And it was
sick.
such a long line of Wranglers.
Was it from a dealership?
It must have been. I don't
Yeah.
know. But there was no sign like advertising the dealership.
Good for them.
But so maybe it was just a group of people who
just a
have
bunch of
colored
people who have
Wranglers.
Jeeps.
Yeah.
They're like, hey,
I don't know.
look at
It
what
was
we can
cool
do.
though. And we
There's
were like,
definitely some
"Gay
Jeeps out
You know? That's what I just kept doing. Whatever it was, I just put gay in front of it and cheered it on. And then a
Gay pizza.
a AAA truck pulled by with a bunch of Pride stuff on it, and I was like, more like triple gay. And that got a lot of laughs from the people around me, who some of them were gay. So I think I'm doing good in the gay community with my jokes.
You also, because you started doing stand-up comedy recently,
Yes,
right? So
I
were
sure
you
did.
running material the whole
Well,
time?
I was just seeing, I was just seeing.
Like, oh, that's a good joke.
I'm like, is
I'm
this
gonna write that
okay?
down.
Is this okay to say?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know, and I want to make sure that if I'm going to be making jokes that involve things about being gay, I hope the gay people are laughing at them, and if they are, then I'm good, and if they're not, I'm like, we're not going to tell that anymore.
Well, I was at matinee with my parents on Sunday, and we went by Shays because we parked down on like Chippewa and stuff.
Yeah.
And there were 3 lonely protesters protesting Dave Chappelle, who was at Shays.
Yeah.
And it
Okay.
was like,
See, now here's the thing,
we
right?
don't.
Is like it was Pride on Sunday.
Well, I don't think any of those things were all related. I think it was just
Right.
it was a happen.
No. I'm just saying
situation.
you're at Pride. You're supposed to be celebrating.
Yeah.
The LGBTQ community, and instead you're protesting. You're outside of
you're-
Shays with a sign.
You're not
for-
celebrating it. You're like
right,
making a
You're-
political stance on something.
right.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
right.
I think the entire thing is technically political, but yeah, you're right.
You,
it's like,
get what I mean, though.
Right.
Like, you're
Yeah.
celebrating like that love
yeah,
and
right. It's like
all
go
that
down to Canal Side and have a good time with
Right,
everybody
yeah.
instead of staying. And the whole thing is that Dave Chappelle was there to do a good thing. Like he
doing
went
comedy,
there
he's
and
telling
he brought
jokes.
out the families of the victims of the shooting.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't
and
know that.
the
That's
whole
awesome.
thing was a fundraiser for
Yeah.
No way.
the shooting. Yeah, so he gave a bunch of money to like
Wow.
the families and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I get it. The guy makes trans jokes and stuff, which like I have my own opinion on those things, which is like
You
obviously
can hear them at I Am Your Friend.
I do. I talk about it in the new episode, but at the same time, it's like you can't discount that the guy's doing something good. I
Yeah.
guess and right, and the same thing is like, dude, it's Pride. Go enjoy
Go drink a wine cooler.
the thing of being yourself, and
People drink wine
and instead
coolers?
of showing up just to start an argument about a place that you don't need to do it
Sure.
at. I guess I don't know.
But was it fun? Overall, out of 10?
Oh, it was awesome.
10
Yeah.
out of 10?
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
9 out of 10?
It was pretty hot out. I got sunburned.
It was a
on my
lovely
ears.
day.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I went to the Greek Fest Saturday and Sunday, both fantastic days. Friday was even a lovely
Yeah.
weather day. It was a great weekend to just
That
do
sun
stuff.
was hot though, man.
Yeah, it was
you
weird.
know?
It was like the temperature was perfect,
Yeah, it was
and
like
then the
70.
sun was too much.
Yeah, it was. I agree.
That
Yeah.
big ball of heat in the sky was too much.
was
to
too
It
stand
was
much.
like
under.
it's like a bonfire, dude. It
Yeah.
feels so nice until you get too close.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It was great though. I mean, it was super fun. That parade is long, dude.
It's a long one.
Which makes sense though, because like parades are inherently gay. Like they're the gayest thing you can do is being besides like butt fucking a man, being a man. Like the second gayest thing you can do is be in a parade. And so like I guess the gayest parade should be the longest, right?
Moving on.
Let us know in the comments. We're just gonna leave the dead air on that one.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point.
All right. Aiden, so this is story time. You tell stories. Aiden, do you have any stories you'd like to talk about?
I got so many stories. What kind of stories we want to hear?
The first one.
The first one. Well, I mean,
It was March 16th, 1995. I was crawling out of there.
out of where?
Cervix?
Aiden's 15 days older than me.
Oh, you got any tour stories? Any traveling stories? Anything like that?
Yeah. Well, the first story I'll tell was the first one I thought of when I got asked to be on the podcast about traveling stories. So this wasn't touring. This was just traveling.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend went to New York City to see the 1975.
Oh,
And when I had never been to New York City, this was my first time going. This was in 2017.
wow.
And we were in New York City. We had just gotten there. We were staying with my cousin in Manhattan, who lived by like Battery Park.
Wow.
And so we went to the financial district is right there. So like we hopped over there to go find something to eat because we had just gotten there. I was pretty hungry.
Not a lot of food down there in the financial district.
Financial district, there's some food.
There's some food, but
There's like there's a little strip. There's like an alleyway.
Yeah.
That's all restaurants with like tables outside. So that was pretty close to where my cousin lives. So that's where we went and we found this just like pizza joint. But it wasn't like New York pizza. It was like Italian, like sit down
Pizza.
nice pizza. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't like grab a slice and go. It was like sit down and get a whole pizza.
Actually
served to
enjoy
you.
it instead of like
kind of pizza did you
scarfing
get?
down. and
Just cheese pep, just your average. Just
This is pre-vegan.
this is pre-vegan. I wasn't vegan until 2021. So
Right.
yeah.
moving. Do you miss it?
Well,
What do
after
you
this-
miss
Let's
most?
get through this story and we can circle back to that at the
We'll
end of it.
circle
So here's what happened.
Put a pin in that thought. Because the answer is yeah.
No, well, here's what happened. So we get this pizza, and I was so hungry. I devoured this pizza, and it was a delicious pizza.
Yeah.
It was really fucking good, man. It was like gourmet, really good. So we ate this pizza, we paid our bill, and then we were like, all right, let's walk around Manhattan. It was my first time here,
Sure.
the Big Apple. Let's see what this
Biggies.
city
That's New Orleans,
has.
sorry.
And so we're walking around, and then she was like, let's take the subway and let's go to like Central Park or something, right?
Sure,
Like I had not
sure.
experienced the subway yet. So
Was that your first time on a subway?
yeah. So
Wow.
we well, I had been in like the Buffalo, but like come on.
Doesn't count.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's basically the same thing, though.
I
Let's
mean,
be
yeah,
real.
essentially. It's,
It's the same thing.
And the
Buffalo's got-
science of it, yes, it's an underground train. but like
the definition of subway in Buffalo and New York City is the exact
right,
same.
but the
except
New York
in-
subway
in
is
practice.
Much
yeah.
bigger, yes.
For example, in New York, you could take the subway to get anywhere. In Buffalo, you could take the subway to get from Canal Side to UB, and that's it.
UB South Campus.
Right, not even.
Not
yeah.
even the rest
Not
of
even
it.
all of the UBs.
Right, just UB South.
Where, yeah, and in New York, you can get to one platform and take the wrong train.
That's true.
You're on the
yeah.
right platform, wrong train.
Right, in Buffalo, there is no such thing as the wrong train because there's only one train.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, we are about to walk down the stairs to the is that the platform?
station.
The station. Whatever.
Well, you're in this. Are you outside or are you in it?
We were above ground and about to go down the stairs.
To the station.
Yes, sure.
And then when you go through the turnstile, then you go to the platform.
Platform, yeah.
Platform 9 3/4.
Yeah.
I get it.
Fucking nerds.
So we're about to walk down the stairs to get to the subway,
Yeah.
and then my stomach is like, "Hey, bud,
Oh, boy.
we got some things to take care of before you decide to do what you think you're gonna do." And I was like, "Shit." So
Literally.
yeah. So
It's interesting, real quick. It's really interesting that we've had two guests so far, and both of them have started with a shitting your pants story.
well, dude, it's first also if you
It is
know
the
anything
ultimate
about
human condition.
Manhattan, there are no public restrooms
Ooh,
anywhere.
negative. Except Macy's.
For real.
Always. Macy's has the cleanest bathrooms.
And you can just go in there and go to the bathroom.
You're shopping.
It's good to know. So I didn't know that.
Put that one in
I
the
didn't
pocket.
know that in the summer of 2017, and we were just walking around Manhattan, and I was like, I have to shit so bad,
Right.
and so we find a Starbucks because there's one on every corner,
And they'll
so
have a pretty good bathroom.
right, it's a private
in
bathroom,
theory.
and it's got a code on it.
Yeah.
So we go in there, and I
Do
ask,
they all have codes? Is that like a thing?
probably
In big cities
Yeah.
they will, because they don't want people just like going in there and
I've
Shooting
never
up,
noticed
doing
that.
stuff
heroin and
or
stuff,
just
yeah.
sleeping or whatever.
Yeah.
Classic
sleeping,
heroin.
classic sleeping in the public bathroom.
I would say
From the-
it's warm.
I guess that's
If
fair.
your options are street or bathroom,
All right. I get it. My privilege was coming through that I have a bed to sleep in. So I go into a Starbucks and I ask to use the bathroom. She's like, customers only. And I was like, I look
Here's
at my
a
girlfriend and she's like, I'll buy this water bottle.
is
You know
it
what I mean?
what?
And it's like $4.
What season is it right now?
Summer.
So it's hot.
It's hot.
It's good hot in New York.
It's June in New York, yeah.
Did you
smells like
make it to the
garbage.
subway or not?
Eventually.
In this part.
No, this was like we were about to go down the
And then
stairs.
you
We
deked
turned
it out.
And then you were like,
because I was
Okay.
like, I have to shit
Because that's
immediately.
if you had to do that and you were on the subway platform, the subway in New York in the summer
Yeah.
is ungodly hot.
Right,
And you would
right.
just be baking it inside.
Some
of
of them are air conditioned.
you. Yeah. But I mean, like with the amount of people down there, it just heats
Right,
up
right,
anyway.
right.
It's
Yeah.
like the
Well,
gym.
this-
Like
yeah.
Planet
True, yeah.
Fitness is air conditioned, but it's like you're
Right.
working out. In
I
there.
didn't experience. I don't know. I mean, summertime is when like New York, like tourism is at its low in New York, because like everybody goes to New York in the fall and the winter. to
Yeah, I mean,
experience,
it's
like,
still
all
a
that
city
shit.
of 9 million people.
Well, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, I didn't really experience like a crowded subway.
sure. Yeah. Well, and also like if you were going down there for tourism, you're not going to be out in the normal
Right. Right.
rush
Yeah.
hour
I
time.
was not in Times Square
Yeah,
at the time.
right.
You know, I'm in the lower. part
You're
of
in a
Manhattan,
Starbucks.
yeah. Right. So I go to the Starbucks and my girlfriend buys a water bottle for probably like $6 or something, and an Angel, and then I go into the bathroom and I destroy it for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Nice.
Just
doing your thing.
hot lava coming out of me. Yeah. That was my introduction to the Big Apple, and then I was in there for a while. There was some people had knocked at the door. You know, it was like that long, and I was like,
I'm busy.
yeah, I've been in here for a little bit.
Occupied.
And I felt so bad for
Occupado.
whoever was trying to get in there because they got in there as soon as I walked out, and I got the fuck out of that store.
And whoever had to clean that after.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I made a huge mess. I mean, I did, but like the mess was gone by one flush of a toilet.
It was contained in an area.
Yeah. So, I felt so much better after that, though.
Of course.
Pants
fit better.
And then we enjoyed New York, and it was pretty great, dude. Oh my God, though. But we went to see the 1975 at Madison Square Garden, and then also Madison Square Garden in the cheap seats, no cup holders. Did you know this?
I've never been to Madison
Really?
Square Garden.
In the cheap seats, no cup holders.
What, are you supposed to use your hands?
You just put it on the floor.
I mean, I guess.
And it's like, and your
But if you're
knees
getting up
are
and
like,
down,
it's, dude, they really like, if you are buying cheap seats that anything at Madison Square
You
Garden,
know
you're
what
gonna
you're
have a bad
doing. You're
time.
sitting
Yeah.
up here.
They
I
like
believe it.
made sure, they're like, whenever they were designing it, like anything above the 200 level, they're like, these people don't fucking need to be
These
comfortable.
people are not going to afford
The
a
seats
drink.
are so close together, like your knees are at the back of somebody else's. And so like, you know, and I'm a tall guy, right? So like my knees are like,
It's the best posture you've ever had.
right, yeah. And,
You're like,
and my
I'm a tall
feet
guy.
are like spread apart on the bottom, and then
Yeah.
there's like my beer is like in the middle of the two.
Well, and also like at a concert, if you're going to be getting up and getting down, like standing up for all the songs. Or
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
it's always
Well, yeah,
best
you
to
right. Oh my God.
Get all the way down.
And you're a dancer, so like
I do love dancing. Yeah.
you're getting up, moving around.
right. Yeah, especially the 1975. I mean,
So you
I
up
love
in
that.
like the 300s?
What?
Are you like in the 300s?
Yeah.
Right. So the
So
stage
the
is fucking-
MSG goes to, I believe they have a 400s as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I think. I'm pretty sure there was one level above.
There's not
us.
even seats up there.
No, yeah.
No
that's
cup
just-
holders, no
yeah.
seats, it's just
yeah,
dirt.
no, it's just a.
We'll fact check
it's
that
just
later.
A lot of fact checking in this episode.
You have to tilt your head at the ceiling in the 400s.
Right.
Yeah, so we went down there for that, and then we also we had a day pass to Governor's Ball,
Oh, okay.
which Governor's Ball is the worst festival I've ever attended.
Why?
So I believe they changed it now, the location, but it was on an island.
It's still on Governor's Island. That's why they call it Governor's
Right.
Island.
No, I think they moved it off of Governor's Island.
I don't think so.
I thought maybe I'm wrong, but
We'll
I
fact check it.
thought I heard that they moved it off of Governor's Island because
Because it was so terrible.
it's such a nightmare to get to.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, this festival holds thousands of people. Dude, so we had to like take a special like bus shuttle thing to get there. So it's like the shuttle picks you up and then the shuttle gets on a ferry and the ferry takes you over there.
So you like double transport.
Right. And then we
Transportception.
get there and it is like mostly like 18-year-old rich New York kids.
Yeah.
Like these kids are young as
Yeah.
fuck and you could tell they all have money and
Well,
they
that's like
act like
Lala-
they
Or
have
mom
money.
and dad have money.
Right.
That's like Lollapalooza in Chicago. It's just a bunch of like the suburban kids that come in and
Yeah.
like, some tourists.
That's like
and,
Firefest, dude.
They're all in.
It was
like-
crazy, dude.
they're all in,
But
like,
I did
basketball
so
jerseys.
and but I did get to see Lord played and that was really cool. And then Chance the Rapper headlined.
He's great.
Yeah, and he was good too. But he did I don't know. I go to a lot of rap shows, and a lot of like big rappers will do this thing where like they won't do a complete song.
Yeah.
They'll just do like part of the song, and then like get
And move on to
people,
the next one,
Yeah,
kinda?
and then like say a bunch
Yeah.
of shit in between, and then go into just like the chorus
Right.
into
Yeah.
the next. And it's just like they just do like samples. It's like it's like hit clips. Like, what is this? You know? And so it's like we really just went to see Chance the Rapper, and like everything we went through to get to see Chance the Rapper was just like, I was like, I'm never doing this again. And
Well,
then
yeah.
when the concert was over that night, Chance was the headliner, so Chance was done. There's nothing else after that. There's only one way off the island.
Very.
Right. Which you have to get.
You
So
smart.
there's just a line of thousands of people, and there's like two
Yeah.
shuttles.
So it's just a nightmare.
Right,
Of
so
getting off this island.
We elected, like most of the people with two
To
working
swim.
legs, we just walked over the bridge. There's just a
Oh, yeah.
bridge.
So
There you
there's okay, I got
Yeah.
you.
So
So you're not stuck.
I guess saying there's one way off the island was a lie.
There's two
but
ways, yeah.
So, but we walked this bridge, but the bridge is fucking long and it takes you to Harlem. And so,
Yeah,
and-
because that's where.
and I was with my cousin who lived in New York was there, and she was like, "Okay, we're not gonna want to be in Harlem at this point of the night when we get there, so we should like get an Uber. Like we shouldn't take the subway. We should get an Uber. Like,
And you're definitely
immediately,
not the
you know?
only person trying to get an Uber.
Oh, right, for sure.
sure.
Well, so right, so we get off the bridge, and then we have to like walk a bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, to like find a way to get a reasonable Uber, and it was just not good.
But that was like at Lollapalooza in Chicago. To get into, I was volunteering, so I went through the staff entrance, and it took me 4 minutes to get in. And then my friends that were there were attending, and it took them an hour and a half to get through general admission. And then to get out was very much the same thing, and we were all just like on the streets of Chicago at night, and it was like
music
just too many
festivals
people.
fucking suck.
It's like right in Millennium Park, like in downtown Chicago.
I just don't know that. I went to Firefly Music Festival in 2015.
That's the one in Delaware, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the festival itself was sick. But it's in Delaware.
Delaware's just tough to get to in general.
Right. Tough to get to. It's like
Why?
a 6-7 hour drive from Buffalo and but not a fun drive. I mean, is any drive? I don't know. But so we get there and we had like
Is any
paid
drive fun?
right. We had paid to go there like an early day. Like we had gotten the early day
So you can set up
passes.
your tent and
Right,
everything.
and you get a good spot.
Yeah.
So that was honestly worth it.
Shower tokens.
But like we get there, dude. I'll get to that in a second. We get there, and
So add another pizza.
there's like an insane line of cars, and they're like checking everybody's stuff, and like we had to wait. Like it took us like an hour to get into where we were going. And Delaware in the middle of June, at least where we were, it's
toasty.
dude, hot as balls.
It's humid, yeah.
Crazy.
It's on the coast,
Yeah,
Mid-Atlantic.
it is. It's on the coast, and it's at like this. It's at the speed track, the Dover Speedway or something is where the festival is. So it's just like an open field.
They always happen to
Just
do
sun. Just
Yeah, they always happen to do like festivals in the hottest place they can in a city.
yeah, it's crazy.
Like
Did you see
we were
the
talking to Musha.
Woodstock '99 doc.
I don't think so.
It's on HBO, but it's just about. It was in the middle of New York in August, and it was just like hot and humid as fuck, and they ran out of water
Yeah.
Jesus.
in like day 2
Yeah.
of 4 or something like that.
And we were talking to Musha the other day, and he was talking about Warped when he went with Manny K. And he's like, dude, in Phoenix, it's like 112 degrees, and they do it on a parking lot.
Yeah.
Not they. It's just a
Blacktop.
massive
It's just all
blacktop
getting-
parking
You're getting
lot.
heated from the
Yeah.
bottom and the top.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. That's insane.
It's like, come on. I get that you need the space, but like, you gotta like have
Pop a
more
tent.
planning in that. You know?
yeah.
Well, I did the water at Lollapalooza, so like people were just coming up to me just because they were drinking. Because you could get a bottle of wine at Lollapalooza for $4. So kids were just knocking that back and just being
Right,
like,
that's the
filling
thing
that
too.
up with
Is
water
like,
after because they
you're
were
in this
just so
super
dehydrated.
hot place, and like kids are just like doing drugs and drinking in the heat. It's
Naturally.
just, like, not a good combination.
Well, that's like
yeah.
that Atlantic City Warped Tour was the best idea because it was on the beach. So instead of getting heat exhaustion, you should just go lay down in the ocean for a minute and cool off.
That's
and
honestly
then go
so
back
fire.
up.
Yeah. But so anyway, so we had gotten to our campsite, and our campsite was like right outside the main entrance that gets you to the main stage. So that was like awesome.
Yeah.
The showering situation was like expensive. Like,
We had to pay to shower.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
it was
can't shower for
like,
free.
I don't remember how much it was, but it was like one of our guys had like went to go. He's like, I'm gonna go take a shower, and like it was like $10 for like 10 minutes or something,
Yeah.
and it was cold water, and it was like no water. It was just like falling.
Oh
on you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm
like a
not gonna
hose.
shower.
you're just gonna
I'm just not
stink.
gonna shower. I'm gonna be here for 4 days. I had brought like stuff to like clean myself, so I just like did it with like
Just a
water.
little baby wipe.
Yeah, it was fine. And so, well, also my one buddy who was with us, his dad worked for a water company, and so he brought like the big like 5 gallon,
Yeah, the water
big
plug.
jugs.
there.
Yeah.
Water plug.
water plug, yeah. And so he brought those big jugs of water, and then had a special pump for them.
Right.
So like washing our hands and like washing my hair and face and stuff were like, well, that was
you
good
have
for
the
that.
hair care and
And then I
skincare.
also had, what'd you say?
Because you have a hair care and a skincare routine.
I do. Thank you, Max. Please don't ruin my bits before I say them into a public crowd. So, and then I had a Camelback, which was nice too, because then we could just fill it up with the water from the water plug.
Yeah.
Filled the Camelback, and the Camelback was great.
They had
too.
like sinks and shit from like Going to the bathroom?
Yeah. They had like a when
Like
you
those
walk,
little
it was like a
pump ones,
giant
right?
It was a giant porta potty. There was a giant porta potty.
And then the one you had to like step on for it to pump it out?
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
the-
Which that was all right. So although
Who washes their hands?
they like had gone like they had like missed a day cleaning the porta potties,
Ugh.
and it was so hot out.
checks
You know what I mean?
out.
So it was just fucking terrible.
Nightmare.
Like a day filled of shit is terrible.
Yeah. Good old humid.
Yeah, but the best story I have from that was we did not have enough room in the car. So there was 5 of us in the car, and it was a 5-person car. We were driving a Dodge Nitro
Sick.
down to Dover, Delaware, and there was 5 of us and all of our shit. And we were gonna
Dodge,
be on,
Dover, Delaware.
right. So we had it was all of our first music festival, and we didn't really know what we had to bring, and we didn't think to bring like a pop-up tent, like a pop, like
like a little.
what do you call those things?
What did you bring?
Well, we had a tent to sleep in.
Nothing.
No, we had a tent to sleep in. I'm talking
We
like
slept under the car.
Like the tailgating tent.
Yeah. There's a name for
It's a
those.
pop-up tent.
Yeah, sure.
That's
Thank you.
all it is.
All right. I'm not-
you had it.
You're a
You got it.
dumbass.
I
is
thought
what
you meant like a.
No, one
like
of the
a
tall things that
pop-up.
just cover you with shade. But everybody around us had those.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And we did not. So luckily the guys next to us were super cool and let us like hang out with them under their
So you
They had a
didn't-
couch.
Yeah.
They brought a couch. It was
Dude,
nuts.
those are people who've been there before.
Exactly.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
so
You know what
we
I mean?
looked like
Like-
big dumb
yeah,
idiots.
yeah.
But we also didn't have enough room in our car for like anything extra, right? And we had not gotten beer yet. So and there was like no room in the car to like bring like 30s into it, So we were like, all right, let's get to our camping spot, and then we'll go get beer. So we get to our camping spot and get set up, and that's when we're like, okay, so we can't leave.
No, if you leave, someone will take it.
Yeah, exactly. Once you're parked there, like you have to stay there to the end of the festival. Once you leave, like you're gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, we'll walk. So there was a beer store right outside the festival. The problem was we were on the north end of the festival.
It's
The
on the
beer
south.
store was on the south
Yeah.
side of the festival.
So you had to hike.
So we literally waited until Thursday morning when the festival opened, and we went right when it opened, and we just walked through the festival to get to the south
To
end.
get to the other side, yeah.
Right, so we get to the beer store. Now, me and my buddy who are both walking are both 20 years old at the time, but we both have older brothers whose IDs we have. So,
Allegedly.
Right, so we go to this beer store, and
don't
we
think there's a
each
statute of
we
limitations
each
on
get 2 30s.
That's 60 beers.
Right, no, that's
It's 120.
120 beers.
Oh, wow.
But it was like we were going to be there for 4 days, and there were 5 of us.
Real
So
good at
many
math. Quick math, guys.
Yeah, it's 120 beers.
That
So we
seems
each have to- so we each
that
buy-
seems like too many beers.
All right, first of all, we were 20 years old, so we were dumb. Is the moral of the
The
story.
weight box was showing up.
So, and it was like we got like 2 30s of Bush, and 2 30s of like
Is this? Are you? Did you just tell one pants shitting story and you're gonna tell another one because you
No.
drank 120 Bush Lights?
no. To speed up to the end
days.
of the story before I get to the rest, we left that festival with like 80 beers.
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
yeah.
yeah.
But then we like had a
Get some road
had a
sodas.
gathering when we got back to Buffalo.
Yeah, you threw a rager.
Yeah. And then we went and
With
saw
80
our
beers.
Kells at Art Park, or not Art Park, Canal Side, and had a
Nice.
good time.
Canada.
Anyway, so we get these. We each get 2 30s, and then we're like, okay, so we can't walk back through the festival with
With
these, so we
30s.
have
No,
to
you gotta
walk
go around.
around.
Oh,
the
that
festival.
sucks.
It ended up being, I believe, it was like 3.5 miles round trip that we ended up walking, and the bulk of that was on foot with 2 30s each, and it's like 90 degrees out. You know what I mean? So me and my buddy are walking, and there's a line of people at the south entrance to the festival to get in, and they're like, see 2 of us walking with 2 30s, and everybody's like clapping and like cheering us on. And then my buddy, his handle rips, and the case just lands on the ground. The whole crowd is like, oh. So I help him, so he gets one up on his shoulder, and then we're both walking, and then the other one rips. So he's got both 30s up on his shoulder, and we make it pretty far. We maybe have like 15 minutes left to get to the top entrance of the festival, and then where that entrance is of the festival, we're parked at the front, like by the gate to the
Yeah.
festival, but the gate to where you get into the festival is super long too.
Okay.
So it's like we're walking past where we need to go to get back in and come back down.
Now, can you just walk right in because you've already been there?
Yeah, so we have
Okay.
wristbands. Well, the campsite anybody can go into, but you can't go in there with a car.
Okay.
So we had somebody was there were like car services, like people with like trucks and stuff that would pick
Yeah.
people up and take them back to their campsite.
Okay.
So we had like found a truck of a guy who was doing that. And we're like, hey man, can we hop in the back of the, your pickup with the beer or whatever? And it was like $20 each to go like 5 fucking minutes. And so we were like, fuck it, biting the bullet. It's hot as fuck. We're doing this. So he brings it, and he can't bring us into the campsite, just to the entrance of the campsite, which is then like another half mile down to where we're actually camping. So we get there and we stack the 30s on top of each other and we sit down on them. And he's like, call the other guys who are down at the tent just waiting for us to come back with beer. And I'm like, you guys got to come up here and carry these the rest of the way.
We're
So
dead.
Right. So the 3 other guys come back and like now each person has a 30
Right.
and walks the half mile to get back there. And then, yeah, and the rest of that festival was cool as fuck. Although I paid a bunch of money for a solar panel USB charger to charge all of our shit and then drove off with it on the roof of the
Classic.
car. So I lost it. But
That's a
besides
bummer.
that was a fun festival. So yeah. So those were a couple stories. I have and those were not even. I didn't even get into tour stories yet. See, guys, I got a bunch of stories.
Listen, we got time. You want to share more? You go right
Tour
ahead.
stories.
The best tour story I have is on the most recent tour I went on with Super American for the Hot Mulligan tour in the fall. And towards the end of the tour, it's like we were somewhere in Ohio, either Cleveland or Columbus, and the show had ended. And a bunch of us were hungry, and I was like, let's get Taco Bell, because I think it was like the only thing that was open. This is now when I am vegan. And
Yeah, wait. When you ate the pizza in New York, was it just, I don't know, too much grease or whatever? What do you think happened?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's why I said, we were like, do you miss it? And I was like, wait, because this ends in me shitting my pants from eating all that cheese, So I don't know if it was the cheese.
It was probably just it had to be something that they used that you just like
Just not
didn't
used
eat
to it.
often.
Yeah. Yeah, also I had like just been traveling all day,
Right,
so I'm
yeah.
sure like the change in like air
Yeah.
pressure and stuff might have been fun.
Yes,
with
the
me
air
a little
pressure
bit.
makes shit.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's got to do something.
You're going
I
from-
can't.
you're
I
going
think about
from-
that a lot when I'm flying. I'm like, this has to be like, because it's so unnatural to be up that high in the air for people. I'm like, this
Yeah,
has
but
to be
the cap-
bad for me internally.
It
somewhere,
actually
you know what I mean?
is though. Like there's people.
cabin's
Depending on the
pressurized.
person.
Right.
Depending on the person, like there's some people have to get up and walk around, or else they'll get like clogged arteries and shit.
Yeah. I have
So
to
like
do
that does have an effect on certain people, but they have to have
also,
that
like-
condition beforehand.
So that's what pressurizing the cabin is like, to keep making sure that like
Yeah.
nobody fucking dies. That
It's
high in the air,
basically
so-
that, and to like prevent your ears from popping uncontrollably.
Well, and you can't at the height you can't breathe. They're too
Yeah,
thin.
right.
And also, like pilots have an increased risk of cancer due to radiation from the sun because
Yeah.
there's a thinner atmosphere at that height.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's wild.
But that's the thing. Like when I'm on planes, I have to move around all the time because like I'm sitting very compact, and if you don't if your legs are bent the whole time, it prevents blood flow. So like I have to stand up every like hour and a half, 2 hours,
Damn.
just to make sure I don't die.
Well, that's good to know.
So if you ever just see me like moving around, it's because I'm trying not to die.
Hey, listeners out there, if you got nothing from this podcast, at least you learned something. You know,
Compression socks too. Compression socks help keep the blood flowing.
I know that.
Yeah.
I definitely
That's
know that.
what
And shorts.
old people wear.
Yeah, You
Yeah.
have to wear them on plane. I should wear them on planes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like only a few days away from.
Do you have health issues from being as tall as you are?
Yeah, I hit my head a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Well, and then
that's not a
also like
health
my
issue,
back
but-
hurts, like back pain, things
Well,
like
usually
that.
like it's always like the people who are like super tall always like usually die pretty young. Not like,
Yeah. No, no,
like,
no.
not like you're freakishly tall,
No,
but
no, no,
like
but
people
6'8",
like above
yeah.
7 foot
No, even like
do not live very long because they
even
have
like
crazy health
tall,
issues.
like my height people are pretty.
All right, well, I
sketchy.
didn't mean to bring it up.
I think
No, no,
they
because
do-
it's like 'cause
they
your
actually
body,
do- yeah.
your heart's working harder to move the blood and everything everywhere. And it's like a friend of our family's has really bad blood pressure. Well, yeah, that's the words, right?
Yeah.
I said it didn't sound right.
Blood pressure,
so
that's
he's
a
gotta
thing, right?
He's got to take pills and stuff because it's
Right.
hard to get the blood all the way around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then also like just general like more things that bother me physically, like the lawnmower that isn't built for someone my
Right.
height, so I have to bend over longer, and that just causes more
Totally.
strain on my body and things
Yeah.
like that. It's like just like small
They
things
need
like
a,
that.
they need a big and tall store for everything. not
Yeah,
just
well that's the
clothes.
thing. I mean,
I
it
bet
really
you they
is.
do, but
They
it's
probably
like
someone probably 3D printed an extender for.
Well, that's we were trying to
lawnmowers,
figure,
you
and
know?
the same thing like with cars too. Like if I'm parked too close to the light at the stoplight, I can't see it because I
Right.
can't see out of the windshield. So I
Yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah.
I
That happens to me too.
I have to like
deal with
open the
that,
sunroof
yeah.
or something, or just
Well,
hope.
dude, how about? I mean, it seems like they're fixing it now with some intersections where like the stoplight will be across. From the part
That's
where
like the
you're
new
parked,
thing now.
That's really
instead of-
helpful though.
Instead of right
For
at
me.
the line, so you don't have to
Yeah.
be like fucking
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyway, go ahead.
Shaquille O'Neal had to have a car
His
made
cars,
Right.
he always gets them
Right.
chopped.
extended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
He's massive.
Yeah,
He's so tall.
I am. I know. I just started because I'm gonna be moving into the city within a few months, and I wanted to get a bike so I can like bike around.
Yeah.
And I need to find like I was looking at bike sizing because you have to get a special size, and like I'm like the second biggest that they
Yeah.
make. And so I'm like looking on like Craigslist and stuff for like a used bike, and all of them are like so small. And I'm
Well,
like,
that's the other
"Oh,
thing too. Like I can't buy certain things because they just don't make it in my size.
Right.
Whatever happened to just like the dyno BMX bikes, dude?
I don't know, those are
Sizing
fire,
is the
dude.
little-
Yeah.
like,
That's what
just-
I'm saying. I was like,
just
dude,
hitting
like,
your chest
when I
with
was a
your
kid,
knees.
it was just like go buy a bike. And I
Oh,
was
is that a Huffy? Let's do
Right.
it. you
yeah.
know?
And now as an adult, it's like, well, you have back problems, so
Yeah. No, I have a 2XL bike.
yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't that weird? I wear
a
a
thing,
3XL shirt and I have a 2XL bike.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, so we were on tour. We were getting Taco Bell, or we said we were going to get Taco Bell, and we pull up to this Taco Bell and it's drive-through only. They had this was the hard part about touring during the pandemic is like the labor shortage thing was like fast food restaurants were not open late, and if they were, it was drive-through only, and we're in a van with a trailer. So it's a fucking nightmare. So we weren't sure if we were going to make it through the drive-through van and trailer. This was their first time touring
Couldn't you just walk up to
with
it?
a trailer. No,
You can't just walk up and say like
you
I can't
cannot.
pull the
Nope,
car through.
we tried that. So I don't know why that is.
That's
Or
just like a preference thing
Yeah.
on them.
Or
It's
just,
it's because if
Some
like a car,
places will do it.
think of it this way: if a car comes through and they don't see you,
Right. Yeah,
you're
it's a
done
liability
for it.
thing.
and
I
then
guess,
it's a
yeah.
liability on them. And
Or would
the
it
whole
be
thing.
too much work to just de-trailer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's such a
De-trailering
pain in the
sucks.
ass.
Yeah, and we had to do that a lot. Every time we got an oil change and shit, like,
How many oil changes do you get on a tour?
I mean, when you're doing a full US,
Dude, you have to get your oil
like
changed
every
every
2 weeks.
3,000 miles.
Right.
And if you're driving from New
Sick.
York City to Florida or something, that's
Right.
like more than half of it right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
could
we were
make it
getting
push
we
it.
got oil changes like every 2 weeks, and
I
we
got my
were
oil
on tour
changed
for
today.
like 5 weeks, so maybe more than that actually. I don't remember, but we had to take the trailer off every time, and it sucks to take the trailer off because it's carrying a bunch of gear and it's really heavy. But so I had called a person in one of the other bands, and I was like, "Hey, you guys travel van and trailer all the time. Do you think we can get through a drive-through
Oh no.
with this?" And they were like, "Yeah, totally." And I was like, "This also, I'm setting this story up to make it seem like we didn't make it through the drive-through. We did. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I really thought that was going to be the
It's
end of
the
the
story begins after the
I
drive-through.
was like,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert.
But I think it's important to tell that part of the story for what happens after. So we go through the drive-through, and we're like sketched out about it because it's like a harsh turn, right? So we get to the first thing to order it, and this dude comes on, as they do, and asks for the order.
That's how drive-thrus work.
Yeah.
You pull up, someone says something, and
Just
then
wait.
you order some
just
food.
wait. That's how So that's how I think drive-thrus
And
work
then
too.
Then you keep going.
Until I get to this drive-through, and this guy, asks for the order, and now, me and Pat from Super American both vegan, so we have to like order your shit special. Now Taco Bell is great because Taco Bell has this phrase called "make it fresco." I think it is "make it fresco," which you just say that after you order something, and that just means make it vegan. It means no cheese, no
No
mayo
beef,
or anything.
Nothing
So it's
like that,
just
yeah.
corn tortilla.
So I get like a
flour
no,
tortilla
I get like a black
and
bean
hopes
crunch
and
wrap,
dreams.
a black bean crunch wrap supreme made fresco, and they don't put cheese or like sour cream on it, and instead they add like guac and something else. So
Yeah, because that really just means make it fresh.
okay, man, you speak
Fresco.
Spanish. I get it.
You can't even say anything, dude, because you don't eat meat to begin with.
I
Like
eat chicken.
most of your meat.
If it flies, it dies.
He rips on me more than anybody else does about being vegan. I didn't.
Yeah,
even
and
know that he
he's
doesn't
like, I eat
post
meat, just not pork,
you for
beef,
telling me
or
this.
anything else that's
it.
good.
If it's red meat, I don't eat pork and beef.
You're out of your
I
mind,
eat
dude.
everything
You're
else.
missing if you eat meat, like you're missing out on the best meat, and that's red meat, dude.
Red meat's the worst meat.
Yo,
It tastes so
I
yummy.
don't know, man.
Oh,
A nice tuna steak.
know,
some nice
man.
I'm not
taco.
saying best for you. I'm saying
Right.
like the best
Tasting?
tasting. Yeah.
I disagree.
You've never clearly had a soy-based chicken cutlet because that's
I would-
so delicious.
I would
Some nice little
Man, what's the
seitan.
best tasting meat? That's a good question.
What's the best taste? It depends
I'm
on
a
what
big
you put
chicken
on it.
guy. But yeah, that's all about how it's
But
made.
chicken,
and
yeah,
stuff
'cause
like
Yeah,
chicken
it
that.
depends
straight.
on how. Like I got the big smoker outside, the Traeger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
I
made
do.
some-
I
he
do
made some
like the
chicken
ribs
the other
or
day.
the pork ribs, or I'll do
ribs.
the
I love
brisket.
ribs.
I have
Brisket's
I have
fire.
an 18-pound brisket in the freezer right now, waiting to be done this summer.
Right. So anyway,
So that means you can come
So-
over and smell it.
so the whole thing is like
You can watch Max not eat it.
ordering places, ordering vegan items at most places.
You can watch John put himself in the hospital eating an 18-pound brisket while we just fucking stand there.
I would do that.
Fair enough.
That's a
Challenge
podcast.
accepted.
Yeah, so mate, your life is tough because you have to
Well,
order
it's
stuff.
just like when you order things, like you have to order things vegan.
Couldn't you just say, "Can I get a taco with just beans and guac and lettuce?"
If that's what I wanted, but I wanted the black bean Crunchwrap Supreme made fresco.
Yeah, fresco just means like all the shit that he can have can go like put it on it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like a loaded. It's like beans, lettuce, tomato, guac, hot sauce, and it's fucking delicious. And so that's what I order.
Yeah.
And the dude, I say that, and the dude is like already like, there's nothing coming up on the screen. Like, you know how there's a screen when as you order shit, it pops up.
Yeah.
Nothing
I've
comes
been
up.
to a drive-thru before.
Listen, I'm stating the obvious because of what didn't happen. So
First you pull up, then you order, and it shows up on the screen.
right,
And then you
so
keep going.
right, and what I'm saying is that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then it says like two.
Well, stuff's showing up, just not the stuff that you want to happen.
So I said one thing, right? I was like black bean or Crunchwrap Supreme made fresco, and then it just was like 2 beef tacos showed up on the screen, and I was like, so I'm like, that's not what I wanted, and then just like no answer, and then
He's like, I'm not doing
and then
this today.
and then like 5 minutes goes by, and it's just silent.
You're still sitting there?
silent. I'm just sitting there.
Burning fuel.
And so we're just like, I actually have a video on my phone of us ordering because we were just sitting there like, what happened? So then another dude comes out of the building.
He's like, you
And
gotta
we're
go.
like, is that the guy? So, and he's like taking the garbage out, and and we have the windows open, and he comes up and he's like, did you guys order? And we're like, we're trying to. So yeah, so we're ordering. So this guy is outside, and he asked us what's going on, and we're like, we started to place the order. He put 2 wrong things on the screen, and then we never heard from him again. And then the guy who was out there who was taking the garbage out just like laughs and goes back inside.
Hilarious.
Goes back into the Taco Bell. And Pat, I remember Pat even saying, he's like, can we just come in? Like, it'll be way easier. We'll be out in 5 minutes. Like, can we just come into the store so we can just place our orders and then come out? So we, he just didn't answer and just went back in. So finally, this dude comes back on the screen. I don't know if he was just like high and forgot about us or whatever. And so I was like, he's like, all right. So he comes back out. He's like, sorry about that. And it's like about 15 minutes. And he's like, two beef burritos. I'm like, no, not get rid of those and let's start over. So I had to like walk one by one, super slow. And we finally got it. And then we get around, we pick up our food, and we head out of the Taco Bell, and we make a left out of the Taco Bell onto like this side street, and we hit a pothole, and then the trailer is now dragging behind us.
Oh no, it fell off.
The trailer popped off from the pothole.
You guys didn't have a lock on it?
We did.
It just
Popped the lock.
oh
Yeah. So it was it popped off the back of the trailer, and now the trailer's just dragging in the road behind us, being pulled by like the cable.
also been there.
Oh
Been
God, dude, awful. So we have to now stop. Now we're in the middle of the road, and with our van stopped in the middle of the road, and the trailer like 6 feet behind it, just on the ground.
Right.
And so we get out, and we have to like pick it up. You know what I mean? And like pull it by the wheels to the back, make sure it's all connected right.
And it's a good thing it was super, super light because it was probably empty, right?
The trailer.
Yeah.
I sense the sarcasm. I'm
There you
picking
go.
it up. It was extremely heavy because
You
there's
almost
a
did,
bunch
though.
of fucking amps. I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm like, what? There was a bunch of amps and guitars and drums in there. So yeah, no, super
Well, it's
heavy.
all made of wood, though. Wood's
so
light.
we pull it. You've never carried an amp, and so we pull it, especially a 412. So we pull the trailer up, we get it on there. resecure it, whatever. Then I come back to the side of the van, and Sammy, the drummer, is sitting in there.
Sammy Cacciatore?
What the fuck is wrong with you? What does that even mean?
I don't know. It's just,
So
What the fuck is wrong with you?
So I come back to the side of the van, and Sammy's sitting there, and Sammy does not look good. And I was like, "We good, Sammy?" And he goes, "I just threw up."
What? Good for you, Sammy.
And I go, "What?" He goes, "I just threw up." And
Get
I
it
go,
out.
"Where?" And he goes, "Right over there." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "I don't know." And I go,
Things are falling apart.
I go, dude, this is like the end of we had been on tour for 4.5 weeks.
Yeah.
This is like the second to last date. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "I don't think so."
We're not having fun.
And
We're
I'm
not
like,
doing well, boys.
the thing was like, he looked fine and he was talking to me fine, but he was like, "No, I just threw up right over there and I'm not okay."
And I'm ready to do it
And
again.
this is all happening while we're dragging the trailer. Sammy's over to the side throwing
Sammy's
up.
not pulling his fucking
Yeah,
weight.
right.
Sammy's in the corner
right.
fucking
That was
yuking.
all him being like, I'm not picking that
I'm not going-
fucking thing up.
So we have like a big thing of water in the back. So I get to him, I'm like, "Dude, you can just drink out of that. Then that's yours now." He's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, go. So we're going. And now I am, I think I ended up getting high.
As you do.
Yeah. And and I'm in the back of the van. It's dark. And I'm picking through the Taco Bell bag and I find my thing and I eat it. And then everybody else eats their shit. As we're driving back, we get to the hotel. And we get into the hotel room. Sammy takes a shower, and Sammy comes out, and Sammy takes his thing out, which Sammy had also ordered a Crunchwrap Supreme. And
His was not Fresco.
no, his was
His
Fresco.
Oh. What? He didn't want it Fresco at the beginning.
His was Fresco, and I ate the beef one.
Yeah, so he
yes.
ordered it non-fresh. He ordered
Right.
it regular.
And then I ate
And
his
you
in the
ate
van
it.
Yeah.
without even realizing because I was stoned.
Wow.
And I just ate the entire fucking thing. And then
Not so vegan.
and,
are you
and
now,
cheese on
mister?
it. And
Immediate
And
anxiety.
so we're laying in and we're chilling in the hotel,
Spooning.
and Sammy's eating it and goes, "This is vegan." And I look.
Oh, you didn't
over-
realize at first.
I realized immediately.
No, but I mean, like, you didn't
Oh, when
realize
I
when
was
you were
eating
eating
it, no.
Like, wow, this tastes a lot.
I was like, "This is so good."
like, this tastes a lot better than it usually
It's
does.
so much better than
Yeah.
usual.
I was
I
like,
wonder
"Oh,
why
this,
it tastes so
this
good."
weed is so good that the vegan food tastes like meat." you
Yeah,
know?
that's how that
And,
works.
right.
It's a new strain called
Yeah.
Veganus.
Yeah. So Sammy's eating it.
Unreal.
And he's like, "Yeah, this is vegan." And I like turn around and look at him, and he's got a smile on his face. And I'm like, "For real?" And he goes, "Yeah, Fresco."
Yeah.
And like the way
Fresco.
he said it was so goddamn funny. We all just started cracking up. And he's like, "It's pretty good." So we called him Sammy Fresco for the rest of the week. And then I realized, and then I got a super bad stomach ache.
How long have you been vegan at that point?
I mean, like a month at
Oh,
that point.
You're fine.
But still, I mean, it was enough of like not eating meat and dairy that like
I bet you.
it wasn't like I was like in like excruciating pain, but I got like,
I wonder if he
I had a
never,
stomach
if he
ache.
never told you, if you would have noticed.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, I probably would have. Well, dude, so
You know,
funny
because
you
it was
said
like
that.
you're aware of it, so now you're thinking.
Yeah, so
about
you're like,
it.
oh, I'm gonna feel sick later from that, or so. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right.
it's all
Yeah,
mental.
like
Because that's the
a-
same. Like if
yeah,
I
like a
ever eat something and I
placebo
thought
effect.
about
Yeah,
it, yeah.
Well, what's funny is so last night I got and they have.
I've never had that, but it never looks appetizing.
Oh,
'Cause
it's pretty good.
everyone I know.
It's appetizing,
The thing
but
is,
it's definitely
expensive.
it's expensive, and it's definitely people hype it way too much for what
Well,
it
that's
is.
everyone I know has eaten it and then needed to go to the bathroom.
Well, so I know
immediately
that a
after.
lot of people got food poisoning from.
Oh,
a while back.
great.
Yeah. But my thing is, I eat vegan, so I don't got to worry about that shit. So
Let us get sturdy.
that's fair, I guess. But they probably got it from something with the meat, I would assume.
You ever heard of E. coli, bro?
Listen,
Roman.
Dude, I got food poisoning from
Roman
chicken salad
Roman
once.
lettuce, dude. Roman.
yeah, it's got chicken in
lettuce.
it.
Yeah, but it was a few pieces of chicken and mostly lettuce.
All right, man. My point is,
My
I got
point
Mr.
is-
Sizzle's list, after the Pride Parade, and I got a vegan burger and I got a vegan
So
shake.
is that like an Impossible Burger? Is that
Yeah,
like
I think
bean?
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I got the vegan burger and the vegan shake, and I'm eating the vegan burger, and I'm like, this is so good. It tastes like an actual burger.
Did you eat another real burger?
I don't think so. I think
Really hoping
literally
not.
it's just like the Impossible meat is that good.
Yeah, the Impossible meat. I've tried it
will say
just
the
to see
Impossible.
what it was about. And
It
like,
is kind of like the taste is kind of indistinguishable.
dude. And even the texture.
Yeah.
they kind of nail it.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And the thing is like, this is like fast food style burgers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like
Very greasy.
it's hard to determine.
Right.
You know what I mean? And and then the milkshake. I start drinking the vegan shake, and it's a cookies and cream shake, and I'm drinking it, and I'm like, yo, this
This
so
tastes too good.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally, I was saying that. I was like, this tastes way too good.
Yeah. Hey, did
And-
I have the same weed again today?
right. Yeah. So I ended up drinking it, and then I started to get a little bit of a stomachache later, but it passed, and I was like, "There's
But you
no
also
way."
just ate
Like
a
if that was
super greasy-
actually like
yeah.
legit ice cream, I would have fucking been shitting my.
You
brains
also
out.
ate a super greasy burger after drinking all day.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Do you know if
So
they?
I think it was good. I think it was just. I think Mr. Sizzles is just that good
Yeah.
with their vegan food.
Yeah.
it's possible.
What do you want, John?
Do you know if they like cook your vegan?
Same plant.
Same
Same
thing.
plant.
No,
thing,
I
or-
don't think so because they are such a like vegan spot.
Oh, okay.
Like they have an entire vegan, like everything
Oh.
you can get there, they have a vegan version of it.
Gotcha.
So it's like I think because of that, they have like separate. Most
Yeah,
places that do that have like separate, so they can avoid.
I know that
contamination
like
and stuff. I don't
Burger
really care about
King
that, though.
uses the same.
Yeah, Burger King.
Oh,
does it.
yeah.
As,
It tastes
and,
real
and people
good.
are like, I'm vegan. I need the
Yeah.
Impossible Whopper or whatever.
Yo,
and
their
then-
Impossible Whopper fucking sucks.
I don't know, man. It tastes real good. It tastes like
I had
it
it
tastes
once.
like beef.
I had it once when we were in.
yeah, because they cook it in
What's the most northern city on the Panhandle of Florida? Pensacola.
Pensacola.
I think that's where we stayed. We were
Florida
driving.
bars.
We were driving from.
It's west.
We had to make a drive from Dallas to Tampa, which is like a 13-hour drive. So but we had a day off. in
Real good
between.
highway out there.
Dude. That was the worst part of the entire tour because on that part of the tour we had stopped in Alabama. Now
Alabama.
that three stretch state grouping of Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I may have gotten the order wrong.
I
but
think it's
those
Louisiana,
three
Mississippi,
states.
Alabama.
Okay. Those three states need to go
What?
immediately. All three of those states are the worst. And driving through them was the worst experience of my entire life. The people are awful. And it's just, I never want to go there again.
Well,
Those
I
three
guess you
states were
went.
terrible.
You went like.
Well, I wasn't in the city.
also-
Yeah, but you went like during the pandemic too.
Right.
So like people are not who they really are.
I mean,
after.
I'm not
You
really a
also
big
just
fan
went.
of the South.
You also
to
just
begin
went to New Orleans and
New
brought
Orleans
back
is not
COVID.
Louisiana.
So
Dude.
you're 0 for 2 on
New Orleans
Louisiana
is
right
sick.
now.
Now, here's the whole thing: is like every state has, I'm sure, a redeemable spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Louisiana, New Orleans is cool. I bet Baton Rouge is probably cool.
New York,
I'm
Syracuse.
sure like Birmingham, Alabama's dope. I'm sure whatever they got in Mississippi. What's
Florida,
the big
Ocala.
city? In
There's nothing. There's
In
nothing.
Mississippi,
Really?
Oxford. It's
There's
where
nothing worth going to see there.
Jackson, Mississippi. Is
Wherever
that-
Ole Miss is, the university.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like I'm sure those spots are. Cool.
Yeah, but there's a reason that like college football is so big down south.
Yeah,
It's
it's all
because
they
there's
got.
nothing else
yeah,
to do down
yeah,
there.
it's all.
Well,
they
and it's
got.
all, the weather. You could do it all year.
Right.
You know.
So, but we had stopped off at another Taco Bell, and
I think you should just stop going to Taco Bell.
well, dude, the thing is, most
I think before you even
Mo-
start
Dude,
this
that's
next
a-
story,
that's a tour
eating,
thing though.
eating vegan
It's
on tour.
cheap too.
it's a KFC
Bell-
Taco Bell conversion. Go to the KFC side of the
Well,
window.
Taco Bell's one of the. Well, now KFC's got the Beyond Meat,
Just get a bunch of
Chicken,
biscuits.
I don't know about that.
but
That freaks me out.
yeah, I mean,
It freaks me out.
I
dude.
mean, is the actual chicken at KFC really
well,
chicken?
also
you know?
like
Yo, KFC chicken's
well,
freaking
to answer
delicious,
that, the answer
be
is no.
honest.
It's definitely not real chicken. It's like processed for sure.
Right,
but
right,
also
right. It's like chicken protein.
how do they like these mad scientists sat in their laboratory
Yeah, I
and they
don't
were
know.
like, if I add a little bit of this and a little bit, it's
Listen.
the exact same texture and taste
Yeah.
as everything else.
It's-
That
Is it-
freaks
wait,
me
is
out.
it-
It's
not
freaky,
soy?
and it definitely is not healthy. I'm not
Oh,
advocating
for
that
sure.
It,
It
is. You know what I
definitely
mean?
is
No,
not.
it's stem cells. It helps you grow stuff back.
Oh,
If
perfect.
you eat
Oh,
it.
so it's like what are stem cells? They're like dead babies or something?
Maybe I don't know. That babies are vegan.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Whoa!
I think it's aborted baby cells.
Caviar. So
Yeah. So, but anyway, eating vegan on tour, like when you're on tour, it's really fast food is like
It's got to be so hard.
everywhere's
it
got
is
lettuce.
because you got to eat and especially this tour, dude. There were so many long drives.
Yeah.
The tour mapping was all fucked, and
That was with Hot Mulligan, right?
what?
The Hot Mulligan.
This is the
tour?
Hot Mulligan tour, yeah,
Yeah.
which they had a bandwagon, so they had a driver.
So they were fine.
Yeah, so they're sleeping over. They're driving overnight. They're sleeping, and Super American's the opening band on the tour. So like
no bandwagon, no
Right,
sleeping,
right,
just
you know.
beans.
Yeah, and so like they had the
Beans
most to
and
prove on that
boys.
tour. So it's like they want to get there on time, and like
They
not
don't wanna
fuck
throw
up.
up in
And
the
it's their
corner.
first
that
big
they-
tour too.
Right. So when you're on a big tour like that, like you want to be professional. You don't want to because if you're showing up late every day and then people are like, oh, how was touring with them? And it's like, oh, well, they fucking showed up late every day. So it's like we're grinding to get there on time and.
The one guy just kept ordering Fresca stuff at Taco Bell and throwing up in the
All right.
corner.
A lot of touring musicians are vegan. I'm just throwing that out there.
That is true.
But
Fact check.
yeah, so Taco Bell is like one of your main options because they have like the most vegan options of any fast food place. And so we would just go to Taco Bell all the time, which I fucking love Taco Bell.
And again, it's cheap. You could
Right.
buy that whole menu for less than $100.
And the thing is, when you go to a Taco Bell in like a main city or like even like on a highway Taco Bell, like they're used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're like,
for
oh
sure.
yeah, the Make It Fresco. We
Yeah.
know what the fuck that is. When you go to a Taco Bell in the middle of fucking nowhere, Alabama, and you say Make It Fresco, they look at you like you're like
Insane.
right, like they're like, what planet did you drop?
You don't
off here
want
from?
meat?
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I remember ordering when we went to that Taco Bell in Alabama, and I ordered it, and I said, "Make it Fresco," and they like looked at me weird, and I was like, "No cheese." Well, I mean, I'm ordering a black bean thing, so there's no meat on it anyway. So, but it's just like no cheese is the main part, and it's not that hard to figure out,
I know, it's kinda
And
tough.
so, I finally I do that, and then I get the order. I take one bite. And there's cheese, like all cheese and sour cream,
Immediately,
like immediately, yeah. And I'm just like, awesome, cool. But the Pensacola, Florida, is where we stopped on our way to Tampa, and that's where I tried the Impossible Whopper for the first time, and it fucking sucked. Also, you have to order it without mayo if you're going to order vegan. McDonald's has 0 vegan options on the menu. 0. Their hash browns are not vegan, and their fries are not vegan.
Fun fact about Pensacola.
Yeah.
Family member calls it Pepsi Cola.
Of course.
And they are 100% serious.
Yeah.
When
Have
they
you
say
ever
it.
heard the Brian Regan joke about?
I have not.
He said he went to he went through a drive-through, and he ended up, or a McDonald's drive-through, ended up buying a franchise location in Pensacola, Florida. I went to the drive-through and ordered, and the guy on the other side was like, "Do you want franchise with that? In Pensacola?" Like French fries and Pepsi
Yes,
Cola.
I got it.
You know?
Put the laugh track on behind that one.
It's
we go. Yeah.
it's we're gonna just go ahead and say that it's a better delivery from the person who wrote that joke.
Well, yeah, it's Brian Regan. He's one of the greatest comics of all time. But
How long you been doing stand-up, Aiden?
like a few months, very new. Not
How long
good.
have you been doing stand up?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah, October.
It's not almost a year.
Well,
yet, dude.
I mean,
You're like 6
technically-
months.
Technically, 2 years because I started before the pandemic. But
That's true.
then the panini happened and I couldn't.
I think that might. I don't know. I probably got more stories, but that's all I can think about right now. It's basically like food disasters and shitting my pants.
It's starting to become a freaking.
I know it's both because I think the thing is, like I talk about it often.
I mean, those are the most memorable.
No, the
things,
thing. Well,
you
the
know?
thing is,
Everybody has one.
Well,
Yeah.
the common denominator across everybody is that you've almost all people, if not everybody, has had a poop your pants incident,
Yes.
Right.
or
Yes.
a near
Like,
incident.
oh yeah.
Like
So-
everyone I know, like has had that, and they talk about it because it's like I do it on stage sometimes. Like I'll ask people, like, raise your hand if you've ever pooped your pants in this room, and the majority of the room will raise your hand. I was like, the rest of you are lying because you've all done it. Everyone at any from 18 up has
For
pooped
sure.
their pants
Yeah.
once.
dude, you misjudge a fart.
It happens.
That counts. That's shitting your pants.
And kid pooping your pants doesn't count because that happens way too
I
frequently.
did make it to the bathroom in New York. I wanted to.
I want to let everyone know.
So the
I
reason
didn't actually shit my pants.
the reason we're saying this is because we had Anthony on the other day.
Right.
We were talking about a tour that we did,
Yeah.
and it was the last day of tour, and we were.
If you
in
want to hear the
Watkins
story, you
Glen-
can watch the episode.
for sure. Make it short. He ended up having to shit in someone's front yard.
One time when we, all right,
That
last
happened to me
story,
too,
last
yeah.
story. When we were demoing, I believe it was the second post-prom EP, which I don't even remember what
Was
it's
this in the
called.
woods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to John Vaughn's cabin out in like by Bemis Point, like out by like the PA border, the southern tier.
Yeah.
And we go there to do like pre-production for whatever we're working on. So we did it for the album, but before I believe this was I don't think we were doing the album yet. I think we were doing the second EP. Nothing Left for Us. That's what it's called. And we were demoing it out, and we went in the winter, so the water was not turned on at the cabin. So if we wanted to shit, we had to do it outside. We couldn't shower. We were only there for a couple days. And so I had a theory I came up with. I was there that I had this theory that you could fart out your shits.
Nope.
That
That was quick.
Because that's not the first time I've heard that type of an idea before. Because the
guy shut me down real quick, but I was like, listen,
So
I
did
was
Max.
like, when you're farting, that's just like a little bit of your shit
No,
being
listen.
converted to gas.
I understand the thought process, but
This
it's
is not.
inaccurate.
This
So
is
you can
not
just-
a shitting
you
podcast.
can
What is
just-
happening?
No, because
You could just tighten up
I lived
and
with a guy.
fart it out, and then you don't have to shit.
I lived with a guy for 2 years in college who was lactose intolerant and had
Well,
the
it doesn't work
exact
for him.
no, but he had the exact same idea. He said because we would go to the mall because there was a Johnny Rockets in there and they have really good
Shout out
milkshakes.
Johnny Rockets.
And he would get a milkshake, and I was like, "You're violently lactose intolerant." He's like, "No, on the way back, if I farted out, I can make it to the house."
Yeah, for a
Like,
lactose
that's his,
intolerant
like-
guy off of a milkshake, that's a different story.
But like
Either
that's
way, I
but
was
like he's
wrong.
like he's
I
like
get
if I
that.
let the farts go, I won't poop my pants as early. And I was like, that doesn't work that
Yeah.
way. You're just farting in the
Well,
car.
so I tried it, and then like a couple days went by, and I didn't shit. And
You're probably just also just eating nothing and beer.
no, we were like, I mean, the thing is, when we go there, because Charlie's mom runs like a meat distribution,
Yeah.
Yeah, like a meat
plant
packing
or something. So like
whatever.
Charlie brings like good
Meat
meat.
day.
and
It's
we
like my
grill it.
Disneyland, basically.
Right. So Charlie brings like very high quality meat
why
and
John-
like grills
that's why
it.
John's
and,
bald, so he can go to the
we
meat
we
factory.
actually eat like very good.
Yeah.
We eat like kings when we're at the cabin.
But what do you eat? Does he bring lettuce for you since you're vegan now?
I wasn't vegan at the time.
Well,
Max?
now if they were to go, they just let him go out back and
he
find
can go
his own.
forage in the back. Just drop little pellets in the corner. He's all right.
Jeez, guys. So
No, but-
anyway, so
So
a couple days go by, and then finally I'm like, all right, but I like wake up super early, and I'm like, all right, boys, my theory was wrong. You cannot fart out your shits, and I have to go shit in the woods. So
it's published in the journal.
I take some either TP or baby wipes or something out with me into the woods, and I I get down, and I took the biggest shit I've
also
ever
the
taken.
winter?
Yes, it's wintertime. Yes, took the biggest shit
Frozen.
I've ever taken in my entire life in the snow out in the woods. And as the sun was rising,
It's majestic.
and there was like a deer off in the distance, and it like changed me as a person. I came back a changed person.
That's the equivalent of taking ayahuasca.
Same thing. Just take a giant shit in the
Yeah,
woods in
dude.
the winter.
I've
as the
heard- I've
sun's
read about
rising.
that.
Yeah, dude, it was wild though. I remembered
My
very
mom's gonna
vividly
hate this
of being like leaning against a tree, and just like the sun was rising. It was beautiful. Sun was rising. There was a deer going by, and I
The
was
thing, like,
wow,
when
and just taking the biggest like
at some
soul sucking.
this become?
Shit of
the
my
thing, like
life.
at some point, my mom's gonna watch this episode, and I'm gonna get a text saying, "Max, what the fuck?"
Why do
Well-
you talk about shit so often?
Because it's a human condition. It's a
Yeah.
human experience.
When you
It's-
travel,
everyone
shitting is
does
a
it.
nightmare. You know, like
I disagree.
especially in like
I
long
just go
van
where
rides.
you
and
disagree.
shit, it's
I
like-
go where I go.
There's just a real short
the only
one.
people
We had
I know
a
that
discussion
yeah.
the other day that I personally would take the chance every time we stopped
Yeah,
to
everywhere
try.
where you go.
No matter what. Anytime we stopped, if it were for 5 minutes, I'd go try and drop some kids off at the pool,
Yeah.
get
Take
back
the
in
So
the
Brown
van and
I
go.
don't
Super
know
Bowl.
if it's the same thing for shitting, but for
gonna be
peeing, you're not
demonetized.
supposed to do that.
Well, I mean, I'm
That's just my fun fact for the podcast. Is I
We
learned about this
waited. We
recently.
waited a whole hour for that.
You're not supposed to. You're not like if you're like doing that like. Oh, I should pee just because like I should, and I don't know I'm gonna have another time to.
Yeah,
like,
like right before I go on stage, I do it.
yeah, you're not supposed to because that your bladder has like a memory, and it's like, and if you're peeing all the time
Oh,
like
I
that,
see.
your bladder is like, oh, we don't need to
So it
unload.
shrinks.
We need to unload more frequently than than it thinks to. You know what I mean? So your
Yeah.
bladder's capacity starts making you think you have to pee more frequently than you do. So that's a
Well,
fun fact for her.
So
That's a
this
good
whole
listener,
podcast
it's
was
just-
just
Piss and
so
shit,
we
baby.
could get to that one thing to learn, and don't
No,
you
we learned
forget
the
it.
thing about the cabin pressure and the socks.
Right, yeah.
Pressure with socks.
Yeah, we're gonna fact check that just to be sure. But
There's a few things that need to be fact checked and cut out for contingency's sake. Well, thanks for coming, Aidan. Do you have anything you want to plug before we go?
Listen to the I Am Your Friend podcast. Listen to Post Prom.
Where can they find the podcast?
The podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Post Prom music is available anywhere that music is streaming.
Fantastic. And I'm Max Kaczor, Kaczor, across all the platforms and .com. You can find out where I'm doing shows and everything there.
My social media is AIDNLCKR, which is just Aidan Licker without most of the vowels.
barely know her.
And
then you can follow Storytime Pod, STOURY Time Pod, across all platforms. Also, Genesee Hotel record coming out this week. It'll already be out by the time this comes out, but go ahead and give that a listen.
Why is story time spelled like that?
Tour.
Retime. Oh, cool. I like it.
Play on words.
Yeah, I like it.
Thanks for watching. Remember to like, review, subscribe, all that stuff. Catch you next time.
Bye.